All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today's lesson, we're going to go over three types of government, which is the autocracy, oligarchy, and democracy. Okay. This is going to be some interesting stuff because some of you guys may have an idea what these are. Um, but when I break it down, you will definitely understand like, okay, this one's this one, and this one's this one, and this is this one. Okay, you will see the differences. Okay, let's look at the objective. We're going to analyze the difference between autocracy, oligarchy, and democracy, which I just said earlier. We're going to critique the importance and effectiveness between direct and representative democracy. And we're going to develop a logical argument on whether the rich and powerful should run our country. Okay, so pretty interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with your warm up. All right, so let me raise my little video thing right here. All right, so look at the picture. Look at the guys up on top and below. Okay, um, what do you think this artist is trying to say about the top people and the people below? There's some hints amongst the things you see on there. On the bottom, there's what is there? Two, five, seven things that the bottom people are hit with, basically, um, in their everyday lives. Some things are used to hold us down, as you can see, and some things are used to distract, you know. So see if you can find which is which and things like that. And what is this artist trying to say? So really look at it, okay? And then also look at the number of people between the top and the bottom, okay? So hopefully that helps you out answering this warm up question, okay? So pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. All right. So the major types of government. There's actually three types of major types of government: autocracy, oligarchy, and democracy. Now, each section basically has another form of government within it. Well, let me lower my video. There we go. So autocracy, oligarchy, and democracy. So we're going to start with autocracy. Now, what is that? Autocracy is basically any type of government where the power and authority rests within one person. Okay, now some of you guys are like, oh, okay, I think I know what you're talking about. I know some examples of like that. So, absolute and totalitarian dictatorships is an example of autocracy. And this is where leaders are glorified. They're basically kind of expressed and shown in pictures to be almost at like a god level type of person, and we know that's it's pure crap, you know. So if a great example, if you ever looked at posters from World War II, the propaganda posters, the Nazis always showed pictures of Hitler upright, chin up, looking strong and things like that, when in reality he was a short, frail man, you know. But in the paintings and the pictures they had of him, he's, just ah chingon, things like that, Mr. Tough Guy, Superman type of thing. In reality, he wasn't. So they glorify this person to be like, oh, this is our savior, this is our leader. In reality, it's just a man or a woman. Underneath autocracy also is monarchy. Okay, this is typically your king, queen, emperor, you know. But under monarchy, there's two types of monarchies, believe it or not. So there's absolute monarchy where the king, queen, or emperor, whoever may, whatever the title may be, they have complete and unlimited power in their government, in their country. Okay, so people like um like that North Korea guy, Kim Jong Un, even though he's says, "Oh no, we have elections." No, dude, we know you are the top guy. You are basically like the king or emperor, in your country. But They try to, oh no, we have elections. No, you don't. Stop that crap. It's rigged. Now, the queen, well, she was queen, but now the king of England, Charles, he is a constitutional monarch. Now, what does that mean? Basically, they share power with the legislature, the House of Commons, the House of Lords, the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is really the top person in the government for this constitutional monarch. And the king, queen, they're basically for ceremonial purposes. The queen's there just waving her little hand, king, looking with his sword and stuff like that. But they don't really have too much power when it comes to everyday government official stuff. It's really ceremonial stuff, and they can't say we're going to go to war. They really can't. That's the prime minister's job, and he needs approval with Parliament. Now, oligarchy is just basically thinking like this. It's the same thing as autocracy, except it's not just one person. It's like a small group of people. So there's more people who are in power under an oligarchy. Okay. Now, how do these people become, part of the government or rule the government? Excuse me. Basically, their power comes from one of three things: um, wealth, military power, or social position. What I mean by social position, they they're like nobles. Their family have has been established for years and things like that. Or it could be a combination of those, two things, or it could be all three. Okay. Now, under oligarchy, there's two types of other government too. Aristocracy, which is basically the government is ruled by the people who, their family has already been established, they're nobles and things like that. And then there's plutocracy, which is basically, do you have the most money in this country? Yes, then you basically run it. You, the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth most powerful, richest families, you guys rule the country. Okay, that's plutocracy. Okay. Now, here's the thing though with oligarchy and autocracies. They claim to be for the people. I'm doing this for you. It's not for me. It's for our country and for you. Hitler was great at saying that kind of stuff. You know, this is for the Reich, for our people and things like that. No, no, this is all about you trying to be Mr. Chingon and the ruler of the world and stuff. So no. But again, people bit into that. And it's just an illusion. It really is. And the thing is, you have to remember, these guys are all powerful in the autocracies and the oligarchies. So when they want something done, that's something to be a law that the people had to follow, they basically just told the legislature, pass this law or else. And so the whole thing of like, oh, we had a vote and things like that, that's all just an illusion, just to try to tell the world, no, we're not. We don't have an emperor. We don't have, this and that. They do. Okay, but again, they just do it because that's what their top person said to do. All right, now democracy. Now, form of democracy is that is ruled by the people, and it literally comes from that word. The word democracy is from Greece. Demos, if you break down the word democracy, demos means the people, and kratia means to rule. So if you put those words together, demos kratia, democracy, it means basically people rule. There it is. Now there's two types of democracy. One is called direct democracy, which the people basically govern themselves by voting on any issue individually. So basically, think of it like this: and let's say Washington D.C. they have a vote saying, should we go to war with, you know, some Middle East country? Let's just say you, if you're 18 and over, if you have registered to vote, you have to vote at a certain time saying yes or no. You say. Now, some people may not feel like voting, that's their thing, but every citizen who wants to vote gets to. But here's the problem, no country does that because a lot of countries have like a lot of people, a ton of people. You know, America has like almost, I almost say like 260 million people. So imagine even half of those people trying to vote at one time. It's going to be crazy. But this does happen in small towns. Where they're voting on things for their town. Should we fix this road? Things like that. You know, they'll have like a town hall meeting, and then they can count the votes. There, if the town is 100 people, 200 people, it's going to be a lot easier to count that than 260 million people. See what I mean? That's why we have representative democracy, where we, the people, you and I, we elect somebody to represent us in Washington. And we give them the responsibility and the power to make laws and basically run the government. Now, this is where a lot of people are like, oh, well, politicians suck, man, this and that. Okay, well, next time, don't vote for your guy then. If you think they're doing a horrible job, don't vote for them. Vote for somebody else. And this is where some problems comes to be, which we'll be talking about when we get to voting. Um, a lot of people like to complain. Nobody likes to really do things. So we're stuck with the same stuff over and over and over again because that's why those some of those lawmakers they're like 70 years old because they run on a test. Some places, there's somebody comes up and they have no experience. These other guys have a lot, and they know more than the other person, so they just crush them. So that's again, when we get to voting, we'll really get in depth with that. Okay. Now, what are those groups of representatives called? Council, legislature, Congress, Parliament. Okay. So whenever you hear those terms, just remember those are representatives who represent a group of people in their country. So in a democracy, the majority rules. Okay. Majority of the country says we want this law, so be it. Okay. The thing is, which is so great about our country, is that our Constitution prevents tyranny of the majority. Basically, what that means is, let's say, like like right now, the Democrats are have more power than Republicans when it comes to uh, Congress and things like that. We got the president and I believe the Senate. So if the president does something, you know, he cannot say, "Oh, we're going to lock up every Republican." He can't do that. Even though they're the majority, you can't do that. The Constitution protects the rights of not only the majority but the minority as well, and that goes for everything. So again, if you're a citizen of this country, your rights cannot be violated. So I know there are some people in this valley who say, well, some of these people should be, arrested and things like that, la, 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 because they don't agree with me. It's like, okay, who cares? That's your right as a citizen to disagree, you know. Or there should be a law that arrests these people for doing this and that, but that would violate their rights, you know. Well, we need to make a law. No, no, you can't do that. That's again what's so great about our country. But with that being said, there has been a couple examples in the past where minorities' rights were stripped due to national security. And I'm going to mention one of them, but another one I'll be putting on TikTok. Um, and I hate to say it, but it's about my boy, Lincoln. Lincoln's my boy. But on April 27th, 1861, Lincoln suspended the writ of habeas corpus for Southern sympathizers in Maryland and Philadelphia. Now, some of you guys may know what habeas corpus is. Some of you guys probably don't. It's basically when someone's arrested. Okay, they're charged with a crime, arrested, this and that, and they go before the judge or in the court. And basically, that time is when the judge says, okay, about bail, getting letting the person be released under their own reconnaissance. Um, Lincoln basically said no. The Southern sympathizers aren't getting out of jail. They're being detained. They're not going to be allowed to get out on bond and things like that. Now, can they do that? Not really. The only way you can be detained in court and kept in jail if you, let's say, you did something, is if the judge and the lawyer basically presents a reasoning for, hey, this person's a flight risk, this person might leave the country, things like that. This person, is accused of murdering 35 people. We release him, he's going to go off and probably kill more people. That's a lawful grounds for keeping that person in jail. So they'll be like, yeah, no bonds for you, no releasing you, you know, because again, for a lawful reason. You might kill again, you might try to leave the country, things like that. Okay. All right. So here is your question. Do you think the wealthy and noble people in this country should run it? What do you think? Because again, like I said, there are some people out there who believe, you know, people who are extremely wealthy, Musk, that Bezos guy from Amazon, Bill Gates. These guys are powerful. They are rich. If they are in charge, then they'll make our country rich and powerful. They know what to do. They'll make our country that way, and you know, our country will be so much better. There are people who literally think that. What do you believe? What do you personally believe? And there is a writing prompt on the bottom to help you out. I believe that I put that twice. Sorry about that. Don't put that twice on there. But I believe that the wealthy and noble people of our country should or shouldn't, whichever you believe, run our country because, and explain. Okay. Now, before you guys go, I'm going to have you guys do another thing afterwards. It's going to be one of the stations. Let's see. Can we get... All right. Actually, you know what? I'll I'll keep it on here. All right. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to get a sheet of paper, and you're going to tell me, what do you believe in this statement, or and why do you feel that way? Okay. Now the thing is, you guys are going to be sharing with one another in your tables. Talk, discuss this. What do you truly believe? Okay. Now this is not a way to incite fighting and things like that. It's just respect each other's beliefs, you know, and share with one another. Okay, but as you're writing it, don't be like, when you see the topic, don't be like, oh yeah, that this that. No, keep it to yourself. Write it down, and you'll have time to discuss with one another. Okay. So the first one is, scientists shouldn't be permitted to use animals for experiment. What do you believe? Should they or shouldn't they? Okay. So um, go ahead and pause the video, think about it, and write down your response. All right. Next one says the voting age should be lowered. Right now it's at 18. So we're talking lowered like 16, 14. What do you think? Should people that age be allowed to vote? Okay? So pause the video, think about it, write your response. Next one, after high school, everyone should either go to college or the military. What do you believe? What's your take on that? Okay? So again, pause the video, write your response. Okay. Next one. Burning the American flag as a symbol of protest should be unconstitutional, meaning you can, get in trouble for that, go to jail and things like that. Right now, it's not. You can do as a form of protest and stuff like that. You might tick off some other citizens, but technically, it's not unconstitutional. So, what do you believe? Should it be protected, or should that be unconstitutional, or no? Should be illegal. Pause the video, write your response. Next one, kids, which we're talking about 0 to 13, that's technically where I consider kids, should not be allowed to watch dark or scary movies. So dark movies meaning like ones that have like very serious topics, stuff like about like suicide and things like that. Um, like really, really scary movie, not like something like Chucky, the new one. That wasn't really, or Megan. We're talking like really scary movies like Exorcist and things like that. What do you think? So pause the video, write your response. Okay. All right, next one. Should a parent be charged with violating their child's privacy when they share photos or videos of them online when they were kids? So let's say there's a picture of you in the bathtub and your mom, dad, or whoever posts the picture of that on social media. You're already, your age right now. Should they be charged with violating your privacy? You know, what do you think? So think about it, pause the video, write it, your response. Okay. And I believe the next one is the last one, if I remember right. Okay, yeah. So do leaders like the president, celebrities, and athletes have a moral obligation? Meaning, do they have to do things that are do the right thing at all times because they are a public figure? People look up to them. People listen to every word they say. Like the Kardashians and things like that, and LeBron, and you know. Actually, I believe there's one more. Sorry, guys. I do apologize for that. If I got your hopes up. So, what do you think? So pause the video, write your response. Last one. Should armed guards be patrolling your school? Like, so should like cops and, armed security people be, like going around the school, driving around, on foot patrolling? What do you think? Should should they be doing that? Not just, you know, your school, but other schools as well? What do you think? Okay. So once you finished all of these, then I want you guys to share each one with one another in the group, talk and see, do some of you guys have some similarities in beliefs? Some of you guys like see, oh yeah, a little like this, but a little like that, but not quite the same, but you guys kind of agree, but kind of don't, or are you guys just like total opposites? So again, we will be having debates in class. I do love having debates. I love to hear your guys' thoughts on things. And we will be talking about stuff like that when I return um, back to to the classroom. Okay, which will be pretty soon. I just have to do one more round of chemo and things like that. That I will be back. Okay, and then we'll have debates. We'll have discussions. Really, really. Um, I like to have intense discussions, but I want them to be civil. I don't like arguing, like saying, going off on a tangent, talking about each other's mama, things like that. No, no, no. That's not debating. That's just trying to start a fight. Okay, and we're not going to do that in my class. Okay, so talk to one another. You guys, that's it for this lesson. So Hopefully, you learned something new. Hopefully, you enjoyed this. All right. So, with that being said, you guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.